Hello, and welcome to the 2026 Annual Meeting of Stockholders of Rein Therapeutics Inc. Please note that today's meeting is being recorded. You can submit questions at any time by clicking on the message icon. It is now my pleasure to turn today's meeting over to Brian Windsor, President and Chief Executive Officer of Rein Therapeutics Inc. Dr. Windsor, the floor is yours.
Good morning, and welcome to the 2026 Annual Meeting of Stockholders of Rein Therapeutics Inc. I am Brian Windsor, President and Chief Executive Officer of Rein, and I will be presiding over this meeting. At this time, I call the meeting to order. This year, we are holding our annual meeting in an all-virtual format and are pleased to have everyone join this live webcast. We have designed this meeting to provide stockholders the same rights and opportunities to participate as they would at an in-person meeting. Before we get to the formal business of the meeting, I would like to make some introductions. Joining us at the meeting today are Joseph H. von Rickenbach, our Chairman, and Director Alan A. Musso. Also from our management team, Tim Cunningham, Interim Chief Financial Officer. I would also like to introduce Sharona Elvo, a representative from Computershare Trust Company, N.A., our transfer agent, and she has been appointed to act as Inspector of Election. In order to conduct an orderly meeting, I call your attention to the rules of conduct posted on the virtual meeting website, which include information about participating in the meeting, including asking questions. I have received an affidavit from the company's transfer agent, Computershare Trust Company, N.A., certifying that the notice of the annual meeting and proxy statement were sent to all stockholders of record as of May 21st, 2026. Our first order of business at this meeting is to determine whether the shares represented at this meeting, either in person via this virtual meeting or by proxy, are sufficient to constitute a quorum for the purpose of transacting business. Holders of 85,539,032 shares of common stock are entitled to vote at this meeting. The Inspector of Election has informed me that there are present at this meeting, either in person or by proxy, a total of 63,703,884 shares of common stock, or approximately 74.47% of all shares entitled to vote at this meeting. Therefore, I hereby declare that a quorum exists. Turning now to the items to be voted on at this meeting, as indicated in the notice of meeting and accompanying documents that were made available to stockholders, the first matter to be voted on is the election of 2 Class 3 directors to serve for a term expiring at the 2029 Annual Meeting of Stockholders and until his successor is duly elected and qualified. The nominees for this election are Joseph H. von Rickenbach and Reinhard J. Ambrose, Ph.D. The second matter to be voted on is the approval of an increase in the authorized shares. The third matter to be voted on is the approval of CBIZ as the company's independent audit firm. The fourth and final matter to be voted on is the approval on a non-binding advisory basis of our named executive officer compensation. If there are any questions on the proposals, they may be submitted on the virtual meeting website. If asking a question, please also include your name and affiliation to the company. Tim, do we have any questions germane to the meeting at this time?
Brian, there are no questions germane to the meeting.
Thank you. I hereby declare the polls are now open for each matter to be voted upon today. If you have not yet voted, or if you have previously voted by proxy and wish to change your vote, you may vote by using the Cast Your Vote link provided on the virtual meeting website and following the instructions there. We will pause briefly to allow stockholders to vote. Now that everyone has had an opportunity to vote, the business items on the agenda for this meeting are complete and the polls are now closed. Will Sharona Elvo please tabulate the votes? We now have the preliminary report of the results of the meeting. Based on this report, the nominees for directors have been elected as Class 3 directors. The increase in the number of authorized shares has been approved. CBIZ has been appointed as the company's independent audit firm. The compensation of named executive officers on a non-binding advisory basis has been approved. The final vote results will be included in the Form 8-K that will be filed within 4 business days after this meeting. As there is no further business to come before the meeting, I would like to thank each stockholder who sent in a proxy for this meeting, and I especially would like to thank you who are here for virtually attending. I hereby declare this meeting adjourned.
The meeting has now concluded. Thank you for joining. You may now disconnect.